Yeah.
All right, here's how this is going to work. Your judges, the three of us, are going to come around and let everybody watch as you present your game to us. And then we'll give whatever feedback we want to give. And as we finish up in here, there's a game next door. So everyone here will go to the next room to see that one. And then we're going to kick everyone out except the three of us so we can judge all of your awesomeness.
And then we will announce the big winner.
Woo! And then it'll probably be 10 and we'll all get kicked out. All
Right,
right, so start from there and go back?
All right.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right. So give us room to actually get close to the person, otherwise gather around and watch them.
Who's explaining the game?
Alec is.
Hey, we agreed on it.
This.
Talk loud enough so everyone can hear.
Oh, boy.
And please be respectful and quiet while they are giving the presentation. He's watching every one of you.
I have to report back to Swain how many people we had.
Okay.
All right, tell us about your game.
Okay, so our game is called, what's the game? Rat Race. Rat Race. And it's done by our group known as the Fabulous Flaming Flamingos.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, so the goal of the game is to try to collect as many coins as you can and bring them back to your base or into the bank. Your car can only hold up to 2 coins per run.
How many players is this for?
2.
Okay.
Each player has control of their own car and their and the opponent's monster that's chasing them. So, yeah, I'm blanking here. I need some help.
So is it fair to say it is a board game version a la Pac-Man?
Yes, it's very familiar to it.
And how does what does an average turn feel like? How does the player determine movement in that? Do they?
You you shuffle your deck. You draw 3 cards from it.
Okay.
You decide. You pick 2 of those cards, and you put them down to how many spaces you want to move with the car and the monster.
Very good. And so I move my monster 2. So I assume this is my monster.
You start off with the cards.
Start with the car. Okay.
Yeah.
So I move my car 3.
Yes.
So I go
So
1,
basically,
2.
this would be your
on
your
the
card.
other on the other guy. Okay.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. So I get a coin, right?
Yeah, you put it in your storage.
Okay. And then this is my monster.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
The other person.
The other guy would move their
Oh,
card.
so here.
All right. Brandy, move your car.
Okay,
Just
so
pick the first 2.
card 1.
1. Haha.
So,
Yeah, well,
All right. And then monster. So I move 2. 1, 2.
you go along the green lines for the
Oh,
monster.
green monster. Okay, green lines for the monsters. All right, green for the monster. And then Brandy.
okay.
Uh-oh, she's going to get me. What happens if she gets me?
Well, she can't really get you since
On
you're not within the.
different- yeah.
Oh, I'm not with... Well, wait a second, though. The stopping points of the monsters don't seem to be on the stopping
Correlating.
points for the car.
Yeah, they only go onto certain points, which there may
Oh,
be
I
coins
see.
and such, but it's mainly to stop the
Okay.
pathways. to
I see.
block-
So most of the ones that they can go onto, we just don't see because they're covered with
So if
coins.
I went 1, 2, I block him this way.
Yes.
Okay.
Ah,
Can
gotcha.
he only move this way?
You can sort of try to force him to go only one way, but otherwise, if you
So he could back up, or he could go over here, over here.
Can I spend my coins to put like some sort of lawnmower device on the front of my car and grind up the monster?
no,
Okay.
as soon as the monster gets you, that coin just gets eaten.
Gotcha.
Forever lost.
And what happens if you run out of coins?
Game's over.
I don't even have coins.
And so the point is to get all the coins off the board and have the one with the most coins.
Pretty much to get like couple coins on your card, then return to base, deposit those coins, and then go back
So then
out.
they go into the bank here and we stack them up here?
Oh, okay.
And you stack them into the bank.
Oh, in the
Yeah.
bank, I see. Okay. very
But you don't get them until you go back to the fort.
Ah, I
Okay.
see. I see.
All right.
Okay.
So, David, what are your thoughts on this?
Interesting layout. It's what again are the way? It's a 2-player game competing against each other. What is the win condition again?
That's the confusing part.
Well, it's pretty much X amount of coins. So what we established was around 4-ish right now for testing purposes. Or eat the enemy up to 3 times, and then you win automatically as well. Or have the most coins after 2 full reshuffles. If it's a draw, you go for a third reshuffle. So meaning now, yeah, his deck is like that low, so you would get the card he already had plus 2 more, and then you reshuffle it, and then reshuffle it.
And then there's 9 cards in each of these decks?
So it's around 10 turns.
Okay. All right. How about you, Brandy?
pathing is really confusing. Now, I get that's because you just wrote it out really quickly. And I think that I think I might like this game more if I actually could comprehend the board the construction a little bit more. So if you were able to clean that up, I think this would be a really interesting game.
Okay. I think the other thing that adds to the confusion is the fact that the coins are covering the
Yeah.
spots. So if
Yeah.
they were instead adjacent, so that way we can look at it
See
and
it.
still see the, all right, these are the spots where there's going to be some sort of connection. Now, that of course kind of ruins the, okay, I've got these on here, so if these coins instead were either smaller or transparent or something like that, that might aid in the clarity issue.
It's also interesting that you have the cars and the monsters on different paths, and I think that's so different it's a little confusing. But that could bode out well, or that could bode out really badly.
Did you, what was the most amount of turns that it took for a monster to eat a car or get to a place where they could eat a car? Like, did you guys?
Right off the bat.
So right off the start, you could have that happen. And then what was the longest it went when you play tested it?
There was only one part where they eaten, so there was no one after that.
Oh, okay.
Because I could see that this could be
Run around
that
forever.
yeah, you could end up just
Yeah.
chasing each other around, and particularly if for some reason if somebody got some pretty good card draws. Now I assume it only goes up to 3.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that's
okay.
good. So that's a limiting factor there. But then I could see it like, if this guy gets over here and he's over there, it's like, oh my God, there's no way I'm ever going to catch up.
Yeah.
It would be nice if there was a way to maybe teleport the monster or teleport
Well,
the
Yeah,
car.
the monsters
But
look so
this is your
limited.
playing field over here.
Oh, you only play on this one side?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
Yeah, I
you
did
share
too.
the space.
Oh.
So that's
So that
more
wasn't
confusing.
clear as well.
Yeah, and it seems like the monsters are really weak compared to the cars since they can't interact with them enough to really chase them down.
Right. But I think
That's a
it,
good concept.
yeah, it's a neat idea. I like the idea of the chasing. All right, very good. Anybody else have any feedback? All right,
Okay.
awesome. All right, let's go to the next one.
Yes. All right. How many boards are there here? 2, 3?
Two
separate,
separate
okay.
ones, okay.
This one. Tell me the name of your game and the name of your group.
Give me a piece of paper. Track what?
I'm just writing it up here.
Oh, you're writing it there, okay.
Yeah. What's the name of the game?
Name of the game?
Okay, so this is Car Chase,
Okay.
and our team is the Trojans. So basically, the objective of this game is to collect as many coins as possible, but there's a catch. So there are 2 ways in which you can store coins. One is that you can just keep them on your persona when you collect them, and the other option is that you're able to store them in a separate area, and they're worth less if you store them.
Okay.
So there's a trade-off here. So you have these 4 monsters moving around the board, and they are assigned according to a dice roll. And so if I roll a 6, then each monster will move 6, and then they would turn clockwise after that.
Okay.
So that kind of adds some randomization to their movement. But the idea here is that if a monster were to collide with you while you're moving, you lose any coins you're holding, but not coins in the bank.
Okay.
And coins that you're holding are worth twice what coins you have in the bank. And you have 8 turns to kind of collect as many of these and decide which ones you want to keep, which ones you want in the bank. So the bank points are these 4 points at the corners. So if you land on any one of these 4 bank points, you can choose what to deposit all the coins you're holding or not deposit at all.
Okay.
So every turn, the way this works is you first have to commit to a direction. So you say, I want to move in this direction, and then after that, you have the monsters move. So
Orthogonal or diagonal as well?
no, just orthogonal.
Okay.
So then you have the monsters move, and once the monsters have already moved, then you have your dice roll. So the advantage of this is that you don't have full knowledge of the game board state until you actually roll your dice, but you have to commit to it before them. So there's this element of strategy of, do I want to commit to this direction in hopes of getting these coins, but there's also the risk of, is this monster going to end up in that direction? So do you want to give us a roll, maybe?
No, it's okay. We don't have the time.
but-
But
10 minutes.
And
All right.
also, when the cars are moving, if any number you roll, you have the choice of moving up to that many spaces.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can choose to move lesser.
Gotcha.
How many spaces does a monster move? Does it only move 1 space at a time, or do you?
Based on the dice roll. So it
Oh.
moves all the.
So if you roll it, the roll determines your move and the monster move, or do you do separate rolls?
So the progression is turn,
Uh-huh.
turn direction, and then monster move, and then your direction. So it's 3 phases.
Okay. Got it.
Brandy, any feedback?
I think that we don't have time to do feedback.
Okay. I was gonna, the bit of feedback I would give is that they had a separate sheet to keep track of what the car had and what the bank had, and I think that that's something that you guys could use as well.
Yeah.
All right?
Agreed. All right.
Cool.
Thanks, guys.
All right, let's look at the next
All
one.
right, what's the next game and name?
It's the name of the game is Ark, and the team name is
Eric.
the Erics and Friends.
Erics
or
and
Eric,
Friends.
Eric and Friends. Yeah.
Eric and Friends?
The Erics and Friends.
Oh,
I guess.
All right, how do you play the game, Erics and Friends?
This game is a resource gathering game. You are a commander on a space station orbiting Earth, and what you're doing is you're directing these cities to collect these various resources to build a wonderful space ark to have humanity go off and leave the Earth.
Okay.
Each of these cities produce a specific resource. Green is for minerals, yellow is for fuel, blue is for research, engineering research. The player gets takes these rounds one at a time. So visually, they're only supposed to be able to interact with these 8 cities for each round. As they choose which cities they want to have produce a mineral, so they would select these with these coins that we have given. After each round, after it's a consecutive each rounds, after they complete an orbit, we calculate how many resources they gather, and the objective would be to collect 20 points per resource to effectively build this ark before the 5th orbit of the Earth.
So each player is trying to build an arc, or everybody is trying to build one arc?
Just the one player, a single player.
Oh, this is a single player game?
Yeah.
Okay.
As you go, different cities get destroyed. We have a random dice roll to see which city gets destroyed. It gets eaten by frogs. And then afterwards, so like as the world turns, you get fewer and fewer cities that you can allocate resources to. And you lose, you lose tokens each round, after each orbit.
Okay.
So first time it's 5, then 4, then 3. And basically as you go along, certain resources will become more limited, and you'll definitely want to allocate resources to those.
How is the limit for the resources given to the, like if I'm starting the game, is there like a card that I draw and it says, all right, here's the criteria for this resource? Is it like, or is it set every game?
Oh, right now it's set each game. So each of these cities only produce 1 point of each resource.
Right, but I mean, how do I know what the end game is? Like, what am I?
You have to reach 20 of each.
20
or
of each.
20
Okay.
of each resource,
Okay.
yeah, to produce the ship.
And how did you guys get to play test this through once?
We get to play test it a couple of times.
And then how quickly were you able to get to 20?
Playing it when we had the first play tester, the original amount we set was 15, so we bumped it up just
Okay.
to kind of see how it would. And 20 seems to be the right the number to have that kind of small anxiety effect.
Okay,
Yeah.
we gotta move on.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Good job.
All right, next game and name.
This one?
Okay. All right. This is called Halloween Candy Swipe. It is a collect and chase game. It is a 2v1. So one is the bully, the neighborhood bully who's stealing candy from the trick-or-treaters. Dice rolls determine moves and 6-sided dice. And basically the kids are going to be moving around trying to get to the houses, getting the candy, and trying to bring it back home where it's safe. Along the way, the bully, if they roll an exact number to hit them, may beat them up and take their candy home.
Nice.
If the kid doesn't have any candy on them, they still get beat up and they go back to the start. So these are just hedges, boundaries, because we found we had too much movement going on. So that was to limit things. And yeah, did I miss anything? It's pretty simple.
The players, the two characters that are playing together can actually block the bully. So like he was saying, you have to get an exact dice roll to knock the
if I
player
got some
out.
candy here, and you might place yourself here to avoid getting the candy. So there's some cooperation involved.
And
also, these may share a space, and they may move through each other.
If they share a space, the bully can't get them.
If they share a space, there's safety in numbers. So if bully rolls a 1, he can't attack them because they'll fight back. 'Cause there's 2 of them.
And we found that with higher dice rolls, the players get like more movement because you actually can move as many spaces as you want as long as you don't retract and go back into space you just previously were in.
And you were using a 6-sided die for movement?
Yep.
Okay.
I think with a board this small, anything bigger would be not so good.
What was your team name?
Team Fresh.
Fresh.
Yeah.
All right.
That.
Very cool.
Any questions?
Any questions?
No,
David? What do
I
you
got it.
All right, cool.
All
All right, excellent, thank you.
Oh, okay, so,
Game and name.
Faceliners. Right, so the game name is Baseline. I just,
Okay.
the
Team Faceliners.
baseline, okay, Baseliners, whatever. So the goal of the game is to move a piece from your side into the opponent's side. They both play at the same time, so it's on a system. I'm trying to think the best way to describe it. They both choose an action, and at the end of a timer, then they'd
Revealed at the same time.
yeah,
Okay.
both timers would go through.
And how are the actions communicated? Are they cards, or you just say?
It's just say. This would actually be a digital game and be too complicated otherwise. They both start out with one action point. The action point can be either used to move a piece in a stackable fashion, or to capture an opponent's piece. The captured piece would be immobilized where it is, and capturing a piece gives a person or gives the player that captured the piece another action point. So the more pieces you hold, the more points you have. But you can also use 3 points to destroy a piece and take it off the board entirely.
And then how many action points does the player get at the start of the game?
1.
And then up to how many have they, like when you play tested it, how many were they able to get up to?
I've never seen anybody go over 4.
Okay.
What was the other thing? To move a piece, they can be stacked, but if you move out of the stack, it moves back down. So if somebody removed here and then moved that way, this would be fine. But then they remove here, they'd be going up. Because since the goal is to get there, that way we eliminated the thing. If for some reason they pulled off 3 pieces, they can't move all the way.
10 seconds.
I mean,
Anything else?
that's the base of it, really.
Okay.
So,
Very cool. And how many times did you guys get to play test it?
admittedly, it took forever to explain the rules, so I only got to play this twice.
Okay. All right. All right. Very good. Thank you.
All the games in here, right?
All right. This is everybody that was in here, right? All right. So we have one more in the other room. So let's go to the other room.
What's the name of the other game?
Yeah, what's the name of the other game?
What is it?
The game designers, are we free to clean up in here, or would you all like to get your pieces? If so, it's fine.
David, you've been getting pictures of all the games? Because my
Yes,
battery
I am.
ran out. Thank you.
All of you. Awesome. Oh, here.
Yeah, just right here. Yeah.
Hi.
Alright, you have like 2 minutes.
All right, go. Tell us about the game.
Okay. I believe the team name is Team Rishidu, and this game is called War Nation.
Okay.
So, in essence, there are 5 nation states, and the amount of players, the maximum amount of players for this game are 8 players. But it's recommended 4 to 8. The win state for this game is in actuality to conquer all states, as is to conquer all 5 nation states. Each state has 2 resources, one which is organic and one which is inorganic. There is 1 moderator, which in this case is me. And the rules, of course, will be chance-based. So basically, with this die, this 2 of these dice will be rolled twice. First, to basically decide who, in essence, will either trade or either go to war against who. That's who decides to trade or which amount of resources or go to war against which amount of resources is based entirely upon the player. and of course, the player is reminded by what the different types of resources they have, and the currency that is amounted to on a card such as this. And the currency is, of course, this.
And is there some sort of play mat or a board or something? Or?
Yes, there is. And this is the map currently, which is associated with the nation states, and this is the graph which shows off the entirety of which resources each nation state has. If they decide to, based upon these, thank you, madam. So based upon these two decisions, the two players decide upon, based upon these two die, based upon whether they want to decide to either trade or go to war against each other. They roll the dice again, and that gives them, in essence, the deciding factor upon who will win the war, based upon this number. The highest number wins the attack or offer, which is based upon these cards, which give about in currently ascending order and then slowly as descending order, based upon this number. So, for example, for 5, thank you, madam, again. So for 5, the nation state attains 4 currency of a certain amount of resource. Takes a certain amount of currency, and the loser takes a certain amount of currency, which is of course lesser to the person who won the certain amount of currency. So mainly the most of yeah.
Okay. All right.
So it looks like you tried to bite off a really big concept in a very short time. So I applaud you for attempting it. Now you get to know, but it's a good idea.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. All right. So.
Why don't the judges go in the room with all the game names, and everybody else can stay here.
All right. Talk amongst yourselves. We'll be right back.